Oh, hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome back to What's on the Tube. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I'm out of breath. So, funny story before we begin this episode. So, my tripod of many years has ironically decided to break on the moment that I'm about to record 3 of these back to back because 2 of them, they don't require current viewing, so I'm able to record them in advance and have them edited fairly quicker than our normal usual scheduled content. However, while I was adjusting the camera, I think I gained too much muscle and I actually broke the connection piece. I managed to repair most of it, but if you're wondering, it's like a little bit on a crooked angle. I apologize. I'll try to get that fixed after we're done with this little block of recording. But till then, apologize if I'm a little bit crooked or if it still looks the same. I can't really tell. I'm very my eyes have not been very kind to me lately. So and I'm not talking about allergies, I'm talking about in general. Okay, so enough bickering over. Let's get down to it. Or again, welcome back. If this is your 10th Katy Keene chapter review. We're in the double digits now, everyone. We're in the double digits, so I'm not pulling my punches anymore. It's no longer technically a new show. We're past moving on. We're into its own respectful territory, and ironically, the first episode that I can even consider that, we get a ton of Riverdale references and cameo and more stuff that I would care to even want or agree to have. It's gonna be a long one. Everyone brace yourself. I'm gonna drink a little tea before I start this because my throat's parched. Anywho, so I don't want to be a negative Nancy here. I'm talking about Nancy Drew. What are my overall thoughts with this one? Because I'm allowed to get critical, but it's just that I've been so lenient on the show because it's still in the new era. It's still like beginning its new one. I'm not saying this is a bad episode per se, but there were a lot of, for me, iffy moments that were like, is this really the right direction for these characters to be leading in so early in the series? I mean, I don't even know what the episode count is for this season, but I don't know. Anyway, so let's get, you know what, I can't really give my overall thought. I just need to talk about it. So let's just get through the butchered recap, and then we'll figure this out together, because literally my mind is jumbled right now with this episode. So, okay, so we begin this episode immediately picking off, supposedly, from last time, where Katy is getting fitted for a dress by Guy. I'm going to start doing that, like, Guy. And it seems to be going well. Seem to have recovered a bit since last week's hectic building mentor-mentee relationship. And immediately Katy decides to kiss him. And presumably we're about to see them engage in coitus, as Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory would say. Turns out, no, it was just a sex dream. And conveniently enough, Katy wakes up to the sight of Josie and her stepbrother, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin. I'm blanking on it. I sorry about that. Sorry. I felt like, is that the actor's name? Because I haven't talked about Riverdale in so long. But no, yeah, it's Kevin. Kevin Keller from Riverdale. He's in town. It's been 5 years since Riverdale, presumably when we last see him off in season 4. So, yeah, Kevin's in town. He's trying to pitch his play, La Bonne Nuit. If for a moment, it's a pretty interesting name. Like, oh God, Kevin. Oh God, we'll get to more of him in a second. But he's in town. He's guest starring this week. And however, Katy can't really stay long to talk to Kevin. She's got to head off to work, and she heads up to work. Sees Gloria. They talk for a bit. No, I was wrong on that. So, Guy and Katy are talking to Gloria while she's getting fitted into this custom dress that's going to be meant for her memoir, announcement, book signing, press release. I don't know, books. I don't know. Where does this come from? Like, we didn't even get a mention on, like, she was making a memoir at any point in the last 9 chapters, but now all of a sudden, nope, she's doing a memoir. She's written a memoir. Now it's going to be released. It's going to be a pretty big boost for her career, and, get to the usual, like, shtick of memoirs. It's meant to personify and, deepen your connection with the author / subject of the book. And everything seems to be going well. Guy and Katy are talking about, like, recent events, that Katy's been feeling a little bit off around him, even though conveniently with the sex dream that just happened, it's not quite well, for us, it's not quite concerning or questioning why Katy's like that around Guy. But anyway, for Gloria, everything needs to be perfect. It's a big day for her, big day for Lacey's as always, and everyone can't wait to get started on this. Pepper, meanwhile, back at her place, is building up construction for the Pepper place. Apparently, yeah, that place has been under construction for so long. What the hell are they building? Like, that's the thing that always concerns me. What the frack are they building in there? But anyway, we'll get to there soon enough. Pepper's ex-wife, because she was married apparently, shows up demanding her money, or she wants 30 grand. Like, Jesus Christ, what does she think Pepper's made of, money? Pepper agrees, and also another thing that I almost forgot, Pepper's new assistant slash screw buddy slash worker slash former accomplice wants to up her stake in the company. She wants a percentage of the profit. Pepper's not immediately down for it, but then she was interrupted by Hannah, her ex-wife, and Josie and the new Pussycats are off rehearsing in the basement of the record store. However, the new Pussycats aren't entirely down with this style that Josie's been picking out for them, as Josie is still focusing on herself and her music, but she's not really putting the thought and wishes of her co-band members into place here. But Josie's excuse is like, hey, listen, look, these are my songs, so these were written for me. I promise you, when we do get the next batch of songs written out, it will be a group effort, it will be a collaborative effort, and you will have more start time. But right now, we have a gig coming out. There's no time to write another song, so this is what we need to do. So they kind of are like, okay, let's do this. And then Xander shows up for some reason, and apparently she has a change of heart. She wants to break away from her dad too, like Alex did last week, and she wants to join the Pussycats for some ungodforsaken reason. And while Josie does admit that she is in fact talented, given their recent events or just their entire history on the show, it doesn't make sense for them to be working together, as they're not really good for each other. So she kind of basically rejects Sandra, tells her to get off. And then we cut back to the apartment, where I don't think we get to Jorge's subplot yet. No, I think we do. Yeah, so after last week, Jorge is a bit concerned that Bernardo and Buzz might be, getting too close for comfort, and this is also supposed to be about Jorge, so he's thinking about maybe setting some boundaries between them so they can establish, like, listen, this is how it's going to be, but I'm going to be the focus. This is my relationship. You're just, included as well. So after all that, so after all that, we meet back up in the apartment. All the Golden Girls are, talking to each other. Kevin's there too. This is great. This was my complaint about last week's episode, that we didn't get the Golden Girls scene. We didn't get to see them interact much at all. This is what I missed. And there's a package for Katy. Turns out to be one of the dress guy was designing, but he decided not to use it, so he decides to give it to Katy so she can wear it off at the book event tomorrow. So everyone's kind of just like gossiping, like, oh, he clearly, maybe he has feelings for you, and then she tells them about the sex dream she had. So it could be like maybe they could somehow be together, but given the current circumstances, it's best that they just stay professional. And Jorge brings up his issue with Bernardo, getting support that he should set some boundaries. Josie is talking about the Xander thing and the Pussycats. Pepper as well with her problem. Well, not really a problem, but I guess I don't have to mention that. Apparently, another thing I forgot to mention is Pepper is sort of organizing a meeting of the minds, a meeting of talented people throughout New York to come and see Kevin's, play in action via a script reading or something. I don't know what it is. And yeah, I think this is the perfect double, just cut off from here. So we cut to the record shop for some reason. I clearly don't know why we had to conveniently go to the record shop. I'm not sure if they just needed a break from scenery, they just needed to use an existing set. I really don't know. But so they're in the record shop. Pepper's listing down a name of potential clients for Kevin to explore, or the people who are coming to the event. And one name does stick out to Kevin, as they're in between this 5-year time stretch between Riverdale season 4 and Katy Keene season 1. Kevin was in New York for a brief period of time, and he met this director, and he was supposed to help Kevin get famous as an actor by that point, but it didn't exactly end the way Kevin wanted to. So Kevin decided not to come back to New York, so he kind of wants some justice for that. So Pepper's like, maybe we could do something, but let's wait till tonight's events. And yeah, I think it's best I just split off from here, all the subplots, because it gets a little bit more confusing and my mind's not exactly 100% right now. So we cut to the script reading, and oh my god. I don't know why. This is clearly have any of you seen Thor Ragnarok? And you see the scene where we see all the Asgardian actors recreating the Dark World scene in the favor of Loki. This is kind of what it feels like, because we get the Katy Keene characters portraying the Riverdale characters in a mockery of what Kevin perceives the events. I'm gonna say Riverdale season 3, which, to be fair, I'm not going to say the worst season, but it's kind of the most disjointed season of the 4, in my opinion. I mean, season 4 was close, but they did better. But one second. God, I love Clavo. Anyway, so we see this very weird, this isn't even I remember there was this, and I'm sorry, this is the last TV show reference I'll make, and I'll jump back to this. So, I saw a show named Frasier a couple years ago, and they had a scene where Diane was clearly making a reference to her time in Cheers, and she recreated that in a stage play. This is kind of another thing that kind of feels like Katy Keene is trying to make fun of Riverdale season 3, but in doing so, I just felt very cringed, because you guys are supposed to be better. You're supposed to be different, and you're doing... I mean, I know this was a joke. I know this was trying to be a little bit of, trying to have some fun here. But for me, it was oof, these characters are still going on in TV right now. You really shouldn't have been doing this. But I get it, I get it. This is supposed to be years after Riverdale, or... I don't know how Riverdale season 5 is going to go. I heard there's rumors of a time jump. Oh, who knows? Anyway, so things proceed from there. Supposedly, like many things Pepper has trying to do, no one's buying, but conveniently the guy who Kevin doesn't like is interested, and they want to set up a meeting over drinks, which is their opportunity for Kevin and Pepper to strike. They head to the bar. Clearly, this director wants something more from Kevin, but Kevin is, trying to play I know what you're doing, but I'm also trying to catch you in the act, so bit of a playing around of the line here. Eventually, Kevin does get a recording of the guy saying that, listen, if you sleep with me until opening night of your play, you will have your play. Until then, you're not getting shit. But conveniently enough, Pepper uses that against him. She gets the money she needs for her wife or ex-wife. And Kevin manages to get some justice after all. And kind of to just wrap up Pepper's storyline too, which is the same thing as this. She gives the money to her ex. However, her assistant shows up. It turns out the assistant is leaving her for her ex-wife. So now the two of them are going to be scheming together. Oh my god, I feel sorry for Pepper. I really do. Okay, so back to the Josie and the Pussycat storyline. No, wait, let's finish the... Yeah, let's do Josie. So, while this is all happening, Kevin goes off to give the Pussycats some food because Josie's stuck at her real job. And Kevin may or may not have given the Pussycats history during Riverdale, and it's not pretty for the new Pussycats at all. Apparently they get insulted that Josie is still acting the same way she was back in high school, so they think it's best, okay, we're going to split off, we're not going to do this anymore, let Josie take all the spotlight she needs. Josie gets obviously mad at Kevin for telling them all this information, saying that Kevin's still stuck in the past, he's still stuck in Riverdale, and I'm not sure if the showrunners are doing this on purpose, because maybe the time jump theory has some validity to it, that we are going to see a time jump in Riverdale. So I guess they're trying to set up some elements to get that ready for next season. I'm not really sure. They were for me personally, I was noticing they were harping a little bit too much that, yes, Kevin's still in Riverdale. Yes, Kevin's still in Riverdale high teaching. It could be set up, or it could be just that maybe Kevin's just stuck there. Or I really don't know. We'll find out all about this next season, but yeah, Kevin might be stuck in the past, but he does want to see Josie move on fully from Riverdale because she did have the opportunity to leave, and she's more happier than ever. So, with that being said, Josie manages to calm things down a little bit. She gets the Pussycats back. She apologizes to them, and she reworked one of her songs to fit the trio as an ensemble piece. However, the night comes, and she gets upstaged by Sandra. How does Xander get these songs? I really don't know. No way, she probably has access to it. Never mind. So Xander turns out to have formed their own band, Xander and the Kitty Cats. What? The Kitty Cat? Never mind. Never mind. Let's move on. So clearly this is going to set a whole war between the two of them. How will this end? Who knows? We'll figure it out next time. And yeah, from there, so let's get into the Jorge storyline. So Jorge talks to Bernardo, wanting to set up some boundary. Bernardo's down with it. And they talk to Buzz about it. And Buzz is like, listen, I like you guys, but I want my first real solid relationship to be with one guy, not two people. So Jorge, stupidly enough, and I'm sorry to admit this, like, takes this as a real breakup, which it wasn't, because why I don't really know. I was trying to like find the words for it, but like I can't explain it, because Jorge, you're with a real person. You already have someone in your life, and you're freaking out over the fact that you wanted something more than Bernardo. And meanwhile, he's standing right in front of you. So Bernardo does the obvious thing. He leaves him. Because, like, Jorge, why? Like, you had the perfect match. Even your parents said, do not let this go. And you were a complete dumbass and let him go. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit of headaches, and that's not a good sign. I get headaches a lot from other bad shows. And I don't want to say Katy Keene's a bad show, but they're doing, like, if this is all purposeful to make the characters get to the right place, I understand that, so we have ways to go. So I won't criticize it that much yet. But as a human being, this was a stupid move. And yeah, Jorge tries to, the next day, win back Bernardo by going jogging with him. But Bernardo already moved on with Buzz as they were jogging together, so goodbye, Jorge, from those two. Where will you end them next? Who knows? And so now let's get to the Katy storyline. So we cut back all the way back to the book event. Gloria's about to start reading from her memoir when everyone starts getting a mass like simultaneous text/email. Turns out there was a scandalous piece published to Gloria that she has been using her girls' sexual beings to get sales, and also the fact that she was aware that one of her own was sleeping with the prince, the prince from before, and the down to earth fiance. That she used one of them to get the deal. So, and which is a clear call to Katy and all that. And so they retreat upstairs. Gloria is kind of a little bit miffed at Katy, because obviously she's the one who slept with the prince. But Katy said, no, none of my people would have done that to you. So things are not really looking good for Gloria. However, she gets called into a private meeting with Miss Lacey herself. Turns out Gloria needs to step away and be alone and be away from the spotlight for a few days while this all dies down a little bit. And so yeah, Katy doesn't really know what to do entirely, because she doesn't know. Like, she really doesn't know. She talks to Pepper. Maybe she has some sort of insight of who could have done this. Although Pepper's like, it could be anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be us. Anyone could have the motivation to do this. Gloria shows up, talks to Katy, and she's like, listen, I need you to find out who did this. I also need you to write this letter to kind of prove my innocence to the Daily Mail or something. Some other big fictional newspaper company, or maybe a real newspaper company. I don't know what's real anymore. Like, this quarantine life has been affecting me. But anyway. So from there, yeah, so we come back to the office where Gloria's personal assistant is supposedly texting her to-do list, but she's not entirely like so depressing and down that Gloria's gone. She's kind of happy. She's kind of like, yes, Gloria's gone. We can maybe start moving away from our issues and moving away from, the conflicts, and start focusing on the fashion again, which Katy understands to a certain degree, but she also cares about Gloria, as Gloria has helped her out tremendously over her career by this point. So she eventually, I think she does, also has a personal talk with Miss Lacey, where No. So after she has the meeting with Gloria's assistant, she has to talk with Gloria again, and Gloria admits that one of her shortfalls was that she slept with a man while she was at the height of her career, which was one of the superiors at Lacey's. And when Miss Lacey found out, it kind of tarnished their relationship. So they opted to kind of start branching away at what their relationship used to be, what their business connection was. So, no, I think he... No, wait. I think there was another scene. We get another scene with Miss Lacey. So I think from there... Yeah. Katy does talk to Miss Lacey, but Miss Lacey is kind of talking with a little bit of a vendetta that maybe things are meant to change and that Gloria has been making it more about herself than Lacey's, and the priority for a Lacey's employee to be at Lacey's is to, promote the mission of Lacey's, not their own agenda, which makes sense from a business standpoint. But yeah, after knowing that about what Gloria did, it could have also affected her personal, professional decision, but we don't really know that. So Katy talks to Gloria that maybe Miss Lacey did have something to do with this article leak, so maybe they should plan something to kind of figure this out. But Gloria decided, you know what, don't do it, don't push it. It's better. I'm going to resign. I'm going to start fresh somewhere else. It's better that we leave it as it was. So Gloria's trying to be the peaceful one and trying not to create a full-scale conflict on this, and she asks Katy to get her belonging out of her office and, get that shipped to her right away. So we cut to Lacey. Loose. Katy. I don't know why. My brain is not working. I'm sorry, everyone. We cut to Katy packaging all the stuff, and she finds this letter in Gloria's desk, which is a love letter of sorts to presumably the superior that Gloria was talking about that she was sleeping with. And it turns out to be Lacey's own son. So it turns out they were having an affair, but conveniently enough, his initials were LL. And if you remember a few episodes ago, Katy found a sewing machine for her mother that was sent to her by someone that was initial LL. So it could be possible that the person who was with Gloria was also potentially romantic involved with Katy's mother, and we kind of leave it there. Or it could be, if I'm suddenly now using spoilers, Nancy drew over this, that it turns maybe this Lacey's son could in fact be the father of Katy, because we never talked about Katy's dad. We always talked about her mother. So could it be something? And is he still alive? That's another question. I mean, again, we never really explored that part of Katy's backstory yet, so that would be a very interesting thing to potentially take to maybe later this season, or maybe in a season 2 if it does get renewed. And yeah, I think that was it. Yeah, that was it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. But either way, I feel like this chapter, I'm a bit mixed on it. I don't hate this chapter more specifically. First of all, I love that Kevin, came down for a visit. I love crossovers when they happen, and it was cool that the writers found a logistical reason for Kevin to be there, barring the time jump. Although another thing is that, again, does that mean Riverdale will get a time jump in season 5? Last time I mentioned it, maybe it will. Who knows? But they're just setting up the seeds for that so things would be in place when we come back next year. But it was fun for Kevin to show up. I feel like I was a little bit torn about him. I'm like, oh, maybe they didn't do enough with him. And now after going for the recap, I think they did just the right amount to it, because they could have really overloaded Kevin, just put him in every storyline. But he doesn't. But he kind of feels out of place, which makes sense considering the fact he's there for Josie. He's meeting these other girls and Jorge for the first time, and he doesn't have a rapport with them yet. And he's sort of just sitting back and oh, that's not really my group. I'm just staying here for Josie. So it makes sense. It makes logistical sense why he wasn't in that much of the episodes. But I respect. So they did that right. Yeah, I said this before. Jorge's decision was stupid. And Pepper's got a war on her hands. And the whole Kevin, okay, my one minor criticism with the Kevin thing is that him writing a whole play about Riverdale, that's a show of their events as a play, is a bit on the nose here. I mean, I don't disrespect it, but I'm just a little bit, okay, fine. I accept it. And I don't know, this episode just felt a little bit off. I feel like they're pushing the character. Xander was clearly a businesswoman who hated Josie. Now she's just a full blown, yeah, I don't like Josie. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure her dreams doesn't happen. So That's kind of annoying. I know that's the typical, like, setting up your rival, and then eventually we'll see Josie defeat Xandra someday. It's just, I don't know. I didn't really feel that should have been the direction they should have taken. But again, it's my opinion, so who knows. Yeah, the Katie Gloria storyline was kind of like, we got to see more of Gloria as a character beyond her, like, pointing orders, like, fashion is more important than everything character traits. So it was nice to see her vulnerable side, a actual human being behind there. And I can't wait to see what they'll do with Gloria's character next, now that she's not attached to Lacey's. And how Katie's going to feel. Like, I feel sorry for Katie. Like, the last thing I forgot from the recap is that Katie and her rival are selected as Gloria's new replacement for now until they find a proper replacement. So, why does Katie always keep getting promoted? Like, so let's go over Katie's career period. Since episode 1, it's only episode 10, so keep that in mind. She went from being a personal shopper to being Francois. Oh my god, I feel sorry for Francois. I mean, he hired Katie. He saved Katie's job from not leaving Lacey's, and then she clearly ditches him. Like, I feel sorry for him. So she went from that to Francois's window assistant to going co-jobbing as a personal shopper again. Then she became Guy's apprentice, and now she's going to be where Gloria was. Okay, why not? Career changes happen quickly, but oh, sorry guys, it's been a long day for me. It's been a really long day. But anyway, yeah, I'll give this episode a one thumbs up. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm not trying to be mean or anything. It's just that this episode didn't really sold me, like, since the early episodes. I really hope we bounce back as we're approaching, I believe, the end of the season, I believe. So I hope things start to ramp it up again, I can't wait, but we'll see. KO's back next week. Maybe we're missing KO. Maybe KO is the reason why these episodes haven't been doing so well. We haven't been seeing too much of KO. So hopefully he'll be back next week. Well, I think he is back next week. So anyway, enough rambling for me. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. So if you were unaware, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, we do rookie episode reviews every single Monday after a brand new episode on Sundays on ABC. We do Katy Keene chapter reviews every Saturday after its new episode on Thursday on the CW. And we used to do Nancy Drew episode reviews every Thursday after its new episode on Wednesday on the CW. But that's currently wrapped up for now. We're doing a Season 2 prediction video next on Nancy Drew. That'll be the last piece of Nancy Drew content we'll have on the channel for a while, since we wrapped up all the episode reviews for Season 1 and we did a Season 1 review. So go check that out if you're interested in binging a new show. It's pretty good. And I haven't announced a new show for that yet, but there'll be some supplemental content on that slot before we get to the next show, which I'm not ready to announce just yet. But that's on the Thursday slot, so I'll talk more about that then. And yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. So again, this was What's on the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on YouTube, and also like us. And share us and follow us on social media. I completely butchered my own end slate. I'm sorry. And for you Golden Girls, I will be seeing you guys next week on the next Katy Keene chapter review. Until then, peace out.